Hey, hello. Welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger. The date is September 20, 2020. 2020. Yeah, I know. That's getting a bit old now, but hey, I still think that getting three 20s in a row means it's somewhat special and unique. What can I say? I'm a bit geeky that way. So this week, while browsing the internet, I came across an interesting little article that said something like 10 things I wish my mother would have told me when I was little. And that made me think, what are some of the things that I wish that I was told or taught when I was little? Now, I'm not going to do a list of 10 because that is going to get pretty long and involved, and I already get accused of being long-winded quite often. So I'm not going to bore you guys with a list of 10. When I was growing up, for the most part, my personality, my values were influenced by three people. And most people are influenced by a mother and a father. And in my case, I had one additional person, the person who probably influenced me the most, my nanny, Maru, who was more like a mother to me than my own biological mother. You see, my mom and my dad, they were very much into making as much money as they could and travel around the world and getting into all kind of situations. So when I was little, I really didn't get to see them that much. Uh, the person who was there to teach me, to help me, to comfort me, to sing me to sleep, to tell me stories, to take me to school, to cook me meals, yada yada yada. The person who did all that was my nanny, Maru. So for today's video, I'm going to name three things that I wish I was told when I was little, and one for each of these very important influences in my life, especially when I was a child. When Maru was looking after me, she was, like I said, in many ways, just like how a mother should be. She would make sure that I was healthy. She would make sure that I got my cartoon and my schoolwork. She would make sure that my friends, when they came over, were looked after, and she would even go out of her way to make sure that I was socializing with other people who were not blind. And one of the things that she did was she taught me about history, she taught me about geography, she taught me about virtues. She taught me how important it was to be a kind person, how wrong it was to hurt someone physically and emotionally, and how it was uh, not nice to do this and not nice to do that. You should not cheat, you should not lie, you should always be honest, and so on and so on. But there's something that she forgot to tell me. She forgot to tell me that sometimes, as we go through life, maybe the mark of being a strong person is the ability to make tough choices. Sometimes we may run into a situation where all the choices in front of us are bad. There's not going to be a right way. We're either going to hurt someone, or we are going to hurt someone else, or we're going to hurt ourselves. All the choices are bad. She did not tell me that these situations would come up. She did not tell me that there would be time in life where being virtuoso, being a good person, are simply not possible. She spent so much time teaching me that it is wrong to do this, it is wrong to do that. She forgot the part that sometimes we need to do something even when it is wrong because it has to be done. So as I was growing up, I ran into a lot of conflicts. I ran into a lot of difficulties. I fell down, figuratively speaking, in a lot of pitfalls and a lot of obstacles because in my head I had this idea that if I acted honorably, other people would too. I had this thing in my head that made me believe that uh, if you go through your everyday life not hurting anybody, no one is going to hurt you. That if you are honest with somebody, it's always going to be okay. 100% honesty. Yeah, that didn't work out too good. Let me tell you what happened the first time when I realized that maybe that 100% honesty wasn't such a good idea. I was like 6 years old, I believe, and I remember that day my mom came storming into the house and went into her room. Apparently, she and my dad had a big fight at the office, and uh, so she decided to just walk out on him. So she came home and went into her room to soak or whatever. And she told me, she said, if your dad call, tell him I'm not here. And 2 minutes later, my dad called. He was really angry. Is your mother there? He said. And because I was taught to be 100% honest, I said, well, mother says to tell you she's not here. All I heard was a click at the other side of the line, and about 10 minutes later, my dad came into the house. He didn't even open the door. He kicked down the door. That's how violent my dad was. He kicked down the door, kicked down the bedroom door to my mom's room, went in there, and the next half an hour I was so scared listening to him beating the heck out of her. And that's when it first dawned on me that it was my fault. That maybe if I just did what she said without worrying about being honest, this wouldn't have happened. So while Maru was teaching me the values and virtues that one would need to build a strong principle in life, I wish she also would have told me that sometimes, for the good of others, for the good of the world, it is okay to not be so perfect. Moving on to my mother. My mother is an extremely critical person. She's always have to get the last word in. Even when she's trying to be nice to you, even when she's trying to be nice to me, sooner or later she finds something, some way to offend me or annoy me. Nowadays, mostly just annoy me, but when I was younger and my temper was worse, we would get these huge, outright, really mean arguments where we both would say a lot of mean things to each other. And most of these situations came because she was critical and wanted to get the last word in. When I would come home sad and depressed because maybe something didn't go good at work, or I broke up with a girl or something happened in school, when I was sad and depressed, she never did what mothers supposed to do. She never comforted me and told me everything would be okay. She never put her arm around me and told me that she was proud of me no matter what. She never did any of those things. If I came home depressed and sad, my mom would stand, maybe, let's say I'm sitting in my bed, I'm sad and sulking. My mom would stand way over there at the bedroom door and she was looking at me and leaning kind of on the door frame with her hand on the doorknob, and she would get this very condescending tone in her voice, and she said, "Oh, are you still sad? Are you still sad? What's the big deal? You know everyone have to go through this, right? You're not the only person that this happened to in the world. So what's the point of being sad? Why, you think you're special or something?" Perhaps worse than that is my mother also always wanted to get that last word in when I appear to be happy. I remember a handful of years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, before my father came down with dementia, him and I used to talk a lot on the phone and have really good conversation. And I remember this one time, my dad said, "You know, your mom is really, really mean." And I started to laugh because that was not news to me. And I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, why you say that?" And my father said, "If it's something she likes, if it's something that makes her happy, then everyone have to agree with her. But if it's something that make me happy, if it's something that I like, she have to say it's trash. She have to criticize it. She have to say there's all kind of things wrong with it." And I just couldn't contain myself. I started laughing. I said, "Dad, you just know that now? You just realize that now? I've been suffering that crap from her my entire life." And that exactly the kind of person my mom uh, was to me, to everybody around her. If you say, "Hey, I really like this movie is really nice," and my mom would be that person that said, "Yeah, it's okay. The acting's kind of fake, and the special effect really sucked, and the story didn't make sense, yada yada yada." If you say to her, "Hey, I really want to see this ball game. I'm so excited because of this hockey game," my mom would be the one that said, "You know, it's all fake, right? It's all fixed, and none of it's real. It's pointless to watch it. I can tell you what's going to happen right here and now." If we are shopping and I say, "Wow, hey, look at this shirt. I really like it. I've been looking for one just like that." And my mom would be that person that said, that would look awful. You would look too fat in it. A guy your size shouldn't wear that color." And on and on. You can talk to her about books and TVs and electronics and anything. Anything that make you show a bit of happiness, she's right there to shut it down. But because of that, that when I was growing up, and sometimes even my friends and my beautiful girlfriend would remark right now that sometimes I take on this persona where it's hard to tell if I'm happy or not happy. I go into this emotionless state. It's mostly because of that. I mean, there were other uh, contributing factors, such as when I was growing up, showing anger in our household was not very healthy for you. Uh, if you were mad, my dad was guaranteed to give you a reason to believe that being mad around him was an insult and he would take it out on you. He would show you what anger really was. So being angry was not very healthy. And then growing up around my mom, being happy and being unhappy both were not very uh, productive. Neither emotion would get any kind of positive uh, feedback. So when I was growing up, I got very used to keeping everything locked up inside. I got very used to just keeping my emotions to myself, just so it wouldn't come back and bite me in the behind. So, if there's one thing that I wish my mom would have taught me when I was little, it would be that it is okay to be happy and it is okay to be unhappy. A few years ago, when I fought and competed for Canada in the Tefisa World Championship and took silver medal, everyone thought that I would be elated. Heck, I thought I would be elated. Finally, it was my dream come true to do martial art, to perform, to fight on the world stage, to get a medal from a world event. But afterward, I ended up feeling very dejected. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I couldn't feel happy. Even when I was standing on that stage and the referee was putting the medal around my neck, I couldn't feel any sense of elation. And in fact, that stands true to a lot of uh, similar events in my life. I have won many, many uh, medals for different events, different competitions. But most of these, I remember the feeling of being let down, the feeling of just being uh, anticlimactic, the feeling that I was still empty inside. When I was in school, I never felt excited if I got good mark. I never felt excited if I got an award. And for the longest time, I didn't realize what happened. Why was I unable to feel proud of my achievements? Other people kept telling me how great I was, but inside, I was just feeling, ah, it's just another medal, another ribbon, another reward, another award. It was nothing. It finally made sense to me uh, back in 2013, 2014 actually, 2014. During one of those long conversations with my father on the phone, my father, maybe he wasn't feeling too well that day or something, maybe his dementia was coming on. But my dad, out of nowhere, said to me, he said, I want you to know that you have done really, really well. And your mother and I, we are extremely proud of you. Now that took me by surprise. I was like, whoa, Dad, you feeling okay? I mean, how come you never said that to me in my entire life? And my father said, your mother and I, we never wanted to compliment you because we didn't want you to get cocky and stop trying. So we kept telling you it's not good enough, it's not good enough, it's not good enough, in the hope of you keep trying for better and better and better. We were being motivating. We were trying to motivate you to always reach for higher, better things. We didn't want you to stop trying. And that started to bring things into focus for me. Because if I grew up doing all these different things, getting all these different trophies and medals and ribbons, and I never got validated or appreciated by the two people that brought me into this world, then what right did I have to feel good about these accomplishments? It seems like for most of my life, I just tried and tried and tried to get better, tried to get faster, tried to get stronger, only in the hope of one day I could get the recognition from the two people that really mattered to me. I ended up getting recognized by the whole world, but not by them. At least, not until that moment that my father said that to me. So, I wish, if there's one thing that I wish my father would have told me when I was little, that he would have taught me when I was little, was to feel proud for everything that I have done. That it is okay to feel good about my accomplishments. That it is okay to feel proud. Thank you for checking out today's Soul Search Sunday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Music Monday. For now, have a good night. And don't forget, no matter what's going on, always remember to tell those people that are important to you, it is okay to feel good. It is okay to feel bad. It is okay to be proud. And it is okay to not be perfect.